So in today's lesson, we're going to be looking at expanding brackets. So the learning intention here is to be able to expand brackets using the distributive law. Now your success criteria will be that you can expand brackets using the distributive law, you can expand and multiply by collecting like terms, and you can expand two brackets and apply the distributive law correctly. Now, with everything that we do in expanding brackets and in future for algebra, we are going to be working using our knowledge from previous topics. So things like simplifying algebraic expressions with addition and subtraction, and simplifying algebraic expressions using multiplication and or division. So let's have a look at the first question. So the first question is all around expanding a single bracket. And what I've said here is that a good way to expand a bracket is to draw arrows as you work out each multiplication. So let's take a look at the first question. So the first question says 5 times x plus 3. And what we need to do is expand it and then simplify it where we can. So what I'm going to do is, with my arrow system, I'm going to multiply the 5 and the x together. So that's 5 times x, and that will give me 5x. And then multiplying that 5 with the positive 3, that's going to give me plus 15. Now we cannot simplify this any further because there are no more like terms, so we're going to leave it as 5x plus 15. So now moving into the next question, this time here we've got negative 4y times, and then the bracket 2x minus u, close the bracket. So this means now I'm going to multiply everything inside the bracket, so every term inside the bracket, by negative 4y. Now this is going to create a little bit more work for us, so it's important to take it slow. So we've got negative 4y times 2x, and that's going to give me negative 8xy, and then negative 4y times negative u. So negative 4y times negative u. Keep in mind that that is two negatives being multiplied together, so our answer we're going to expect is positive, which will then become positive 4uy. Again here, we cannot simplify this any further because there are no more like terms. So I'm going to start writing that. Alright, so let's have a look at the next question. So here we have 4 times x minus 4, close the bracket, plus 6. So again, I'm going to apply the distributive law and I'm going to multiply this out. So 4 times x, and that will give me 4x. And then we've got 4 times negative 4. I'll just write that here. And that will give me negative 16. Now this plus 6 is just going to join us at the end. The reason being that we didn't need to distribute any other brackets with that positive 6. It's just plus 6 on the side. So now here we can actually simplify further because we actually have what we call a like term. So here we can simplify negative 16 plus 6. So that's going to give me 4x minus 10. And then we stop here because we cannot simplify any further. Alright, so let's take a look at the next question. So now we've got x times y minus 2, close the bracket, plus 5x. So here I'm going to expand the bracket by multiplying those two together. So I've got x times y, then I've got x times negative 2, and then I've got the plus 5x. So I'm going to write x times y is xy. Then the next part, so x times negative 2 was minus 2x, and then plus 5x. Now taking a look at this expression here, we can see that negative 2x and plus 5x, or positive 5x, are like terms. So this means I can simplify that part of the expression further. So I can go xy positive 3x. The reason being, now that we've identified negative 2x plus 5x are like terms, negative 2 plus 5 makes positive 3. So we'll be left with plus 3x. So now the last question here says that we need to do 7x minus 6 times r plus 4 and within brackets. So here, we don't need to distribute the 7x, but what we do need to do is actually take this negative 6 and multiply every term inside the bracket. So I'm going to have negative 6 times r, which will give me negative 6r, then negative 6 times 4, negative 24. Now writing this all together, so I'm going to have 7x minus 6r minus 24. So here, unfortunately, what we can't do is we can't simplify this any further because there are no more like terms. So it is important once you've done all the groundwork of expanding your brackets or applying the distributive law that you then assess what you've done and try and simplify it further by looking for like terms. So now let's move on to something a little bit more complicated. So we've got the situation now where we're asked to expand expressions with two brackets. Now, while this may look a little bit more daunting, it's actually exactly the same as expanding a single bracket. The steps are still the same. The only thing you need to make sure of doing is that you are collecting your like terms, because it is very likely that having more brackets could imply that there might be more like terms. So let's have a go at expanding the first expression. So here we've got 2 times the x for 2x. Then we've got 2 times negative 3 for negative 6. And then with the second part of the expression, we've got 6 times x for 6x. And then 6 times 2 for 12. So now putting this all together, so 2 times x, we've got 2x first. Then we had 2 times negative 3 for negative 6. Then we had 6 times x for 6x. And we had 6 times 2 for positive 12. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to collect my like terms. And rearrange the expression so that the like terms are together. And this will help me to simplify it accurately too. So I'm going to write 2x plus 6x minus 6 plus 12. So simplifying that, I get 2x plus 6x is 8x, and then minus 6 plus 12 is positive 6. And our final answer is 8x plus 6. Obviously, we cannot simplify this any further because we have no more like terms. All right, so lucky last, again, we have another expression with two brackets. So I'm going to expand my brackets first. So we've got 5 times x for 5x, then 5 times positive 3, which will give me 15. Then we have positive 2 times x for 2x, and 2 times negative 4y to give me negative 8y. Now again, writing these all together, so I'm going to have 5x plus 15, because remember 5 times x was 5x, 5 times 3 was positive 15, then 2 times x was 2x, then 2 times negative 4y was negative 8y. And again here, I'm going to collect my like terms and rearrange the expression so the like terms are together. So I'm going to have 5x plus 2x plus 15 minus 8y. Now what we can see here is that these are my only two like terms, so I'm going to add them together, so I get 7x plus 15 minus 8y. And that'll be it, because once again you can see here that we have no more like terms. So hopefully now you feel a little bit more comfortable with expanding expressions that involve brackets, whether that be 1 or 2. Again, make sure you're taking your time when you are multiplying or you are applying the distributive law, because it is very easy to make mistakes, especially when there are negatives involved.